If you are any type of Silent Hill fan, be it from the older entries into the series like Silent Hill or Silent Hill 2, or a newer fan who got introduced through later titles like Silent Hill Downpour or even Silent Hills, the controversially cancelled Kojima project, I'm sure a Silent Hill F has in some way, shape or form caught your attention, just like it did mine. And well, the wait is finally over. The game is here in all its macabre glory, and it features plenty of highly anticipated moments that fans, whether you've been following for a long time or recently got into it, a detailed look into the heart and soul of Silent Hill F. Now, before we get into details, I just have to say how excited I am to see where Konami is taking Silent Hill as a series and as an idea. For so long, Silent Hill has felt like a physical place, a town lost in the fog, cursed and decayed, somewhere in the forgotten corners of America. But now, with this trailer, it feels like Konami is really trying to push the idea that Silent Hill isn't just about a specific location, it's a feeling, a state of mind. From the very first shot, Silent Hill F sets itself apart from the previous entries. The trailer opens with a slow, quiet look at a seemingly normal town, but everything feels off. The streets are empty, eerily still, the lighting is soft, the colors muted. There's something unsettling about how quiet it all is. This isn't the traditional fog-covered town we associate with Silent Hill. There's no industrial decay, no rusted-out structures. Instead, we're in 1960s rural Japan, in a town called Ebisugaoka, which is heavily inspired by the real-life location in Japan. In the 46-minute Silent Hill transmission, the developers mentioned that they went out of their way to recreate the time period as accurately as possible, and that much is clear from the way the environment is presented. The buildings, the streets, even the everyday items scattered throughout the scenery feel very authentic to the 1960s, yet somehow the way that the world is shot makes it feel fragile, like something that's already been lost to time. And then we meet our protagonist, Hinako Shimizu, a schoolgirl walking alone throughout the town, her uniform stained and her movements slow and stiff. Maybe you could even say unnatural. Throughout the trailer you can see that she barely reacts to her surroundings, like she had been dreaming in an aloof state about all of this, all before. There's something deeply wrong, obviously, but the trailer doesn't immediately show us what. It makes us sit in this unease. Then the horror sets in. The town starts changing, slowly overtaken by something organic yet unnatural. A creeping infestation of red flowers twisting around buildings, growing through the cracks in the pavement. These aren't just background details. The flowers seem alive, as if they're spreading with intent. And what's even more unsettling is that there's no clear enemy just yet, no immediate threat. The horror isn't something you run from, it seems. It's something that's already there. All of this leading directly into one of the central themes that the developers have been emphasizing in the transmission, finding the beauty in terror. This phrase was repeated multiple times during the transmission, and it perfectly describes the visual approach Silent Hill F is taking. Horror and beauty aren't opposites in this game like they usually are. They simply exist side by side. The flowers overtaking the town, the music, and the monsters even, they're all carefully crafted to be equal parts terrifying and beautiful, but also a death sentence. It's a core aspect of Japanese horror, which thrives on subtlety and contrast. While Western horror often leans into overt decay and destruction, Japanese horror finds fear in things that are beautiful on the surface, but are fundamentally unnatural. The developers even mentioned this during the deep dive, explaining that once something becomes too perfect or too pristine, it can start to feel deeply unsettling. And speaking of horror storytelling, one of the biggest talking points of Silent Hill F that I felt was important to emphasize is its scriptwriter, Ryokishi07. If that name sounds familiar to you, it should. He's the creator of Hirugashi When They Cry, one of the most well-known horror visual novels ever made. His involvement alone already tells us that Silent Hill F is definitely not going to stray away from the psychological horror roots it was founded upon. I think that the idea idea that Silent Hill is a state of mind rather than a location is something that could change how the series moves forward. Of course, this is only a theory, but if Silent Hill F is proof that the essence of Silent Hill can exist anywhere, then I think that opens many interesting doors for future games to explore, while also maintaining what makes the series so special. And of course, I can't end this video without talking about the music. Akira Yamaoka is returning to compose the Fog World soundtrack, or the Otherworld, ensuring that Silent Hill F still carries that eerie, droning, fucked up atmosphere the series is known for. But what's really interesting to me is that Inage Kensuke is handling the Otherworld's music, and it seems like he's taking a completely different approach. Rather than using industrial noise or distorted soundscapes, he's incorporating traditional Japanese court music, blending it with horror elements to create something completely new for the franchise that I can't wait to see. And then of course we have the final shot of the trailer, one of the most haunting visual Silent Hills delivered in a little bit. Hinako, completely consumed by the flowers, gives a subtle unnatural smile, and then she simply falls apart. Her face peels away like a flower petal as her body disintegrates, and for a brief moment it's almost beautiful, and I think that's what makes it so horrifying. This isn't just body horror, this isn't just gore for shock value. I really feel like this is something intimately unsettling, like the idea of losing yourself piece by piece until there's nothing left. I'm sure that there is a much deeper meaning to all of this. So although the trailer doesn't give us all the answers, it doesn't tell us what caused this or what's waiting for us, it doesn't really tell us what propelled Hinako to cut off part of her face or allow part of it to be cut off, it does leave us with some interesting questions that sit with us for a long while after the trailer has ended. And maybe that's the scariest part, because if Silent Hill F is already making us feel this unsettled with just a trailer, what's it going to do to us when we finally get to play it? Thank you everybody for watching my little analysis on the trailer. I honestly couldn't be more excited for the game. If you think about it, this is really the first time in almost a decade or over a decade that a mainline Silent Hill game has come out that has an entirely new branching storyline away from the rest. When the game does come out, you already know that I will be among the very first to be playing it all for you on Twitch, and if you haven't followed me on there and are the type of person who likes horror or VTubing or just general stupidity, then please come by. I'd love to see you. Thanks for watching.